My talk is going to be about quad bikes and rollover protection bars, or operator protection devices, OPDs as they're sometimes called. In the USA, these machines are called all-terrain vehicles, or ATVs. This is a serious misnomer. And in my opinion, a purposefully misleading term introduced by industry to sell more of these vehicles to unsuspecting consumers who are led to believe they can safely ride these machines over all terrains. You can't ride these vehicles over all terrains. We are quietly determined to not let industry dictate their unscientific commercial perspective on unsuspecting consumers, hence we call them quad bikes. Now, we've been involved in 4 major coronial inquests, many court proceedings, we've carried out mountains of research. We've had a 20-year battle protecting consumers with the misinformation that's being put out by the Federal Chamber of Automotive Industries. We have a large team. You can see that team here. Also, we had the project sponsor, SafeWork New South Wales, who without their strong support, and in particular from Tony Williams and Diane Vaughan, we wouldn't have managed to get this project up and going. We collected coronial and injury data. We found that from that data, rollovers on farms were occurring at a slow speed, at about 20 kilometres per hour. And what was happening was the vehicle was rolling over, the rider was getting trapped underneath and being asphyxiated. If you walked up to that quad bike in time and pulled that vehicle off the rider, they would fully recover without any injury. So we carried out static stability tests on the tilt table, as well as dynamic handling tests for rollover, doing circle and J-turn tests to work out when they would tip over. And also we did rollover tilt table crash tests to see how riders were being pinned underneath these vehicles, with and without a roll bar, to test if the roll bar would alleviate that problem. Now, we carried out over 1,000 tests. This is a complicated graph that you can see here, but the bottom line is, you can see on the right where along the horizontal axis, that's the static roll threshold. On the right, at 1.5 static roll threshold, that's where you'd find a Porsche or sedans, low vehicles with low rollover propensity. Then you've got your SUVs at a static roll threshold of 1. Then you've got your trucks, the blue bars that you see there, where they are particularly susceptible to rollover. And there are the quad bikes right underneath where the trucks are. In other words, riding a quad bike over a farmland with undulations and rocks and bumps, etc., is like trying to ride a heavily overladen truck over that terrain and not having it roll over on you. We've published our reports on sites, on the TARS website, so you can download those. I don't have enough time to present that to you today. We also carried out a quad bike safety survey project where we interviewed 1,546 individual workplace quad bike riders in Australia and New Zealand, plus some Australian companies that had quad bars and lifeguards fitted to their quad bikes, and a tour company that had 10 years of data prior to putting on roll bars and 10 years after putting on a roll bar. Now, the Federal Chamber of Automotive Industry strongly opposed roll bar fitment and increasing track width stability. Importantly, though, TAR's survey showed that no fatalities were recorded in previous studies or this study attributed to a roll bar. No serious chest or head injuries attributed to a roll bar. The study data indicates that with increasing rollover crash severity, roll bars are increasingly more protective of the rider. Also, we found that quad bike specific helmets reduce head injuries by about 50%. You can also download this report and look at it at your leisure from the TARS website. Importantly, the Federal Chamber of Automotive Industries spent tens of millions of dollars in attempts to discredit this work in courts. They regularly defamed the research team publicly. These are the deaths that I've downloaded from the SafeWork Australia site. You'll notice when we released the Quad Bike Performance Project reports and the SafeWork not Safe Work, but New South Wales and the Victorian regulators introduced a subsidy for fitting roll bars onto the vehicles, as well as an education program promoting some of the work that we've done. The fatalities started to drop. Now, the ACCC's extensive report on quad bike safety, which was some final recommendations to the Minister, heavily drew on the conclusions from the TARS research report, which led to the following policy introduced, which is the new Consumer Goods Law for quad bikes, which was introduced in 2019. So it was a big win for farmers and consumers. After 20-year battle, we now have minimum static stability criterion, mandatory roll bar fitment, and tag labelling of stability. Thank you very much.